Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wingcat Sports. We're going to get back into our Tigers reviews with what they've done the past couple weeks. We missed a week with the Lions starting. We've been more focused on the Lions than the Tigers. And it's been the end of the year, and they kind of slowed down a bit with their record. But overall, they haven't been doing terrible the past couple of weeks. They've been roughly around a 500 record. They're up to 72 wins now, 81 losses. And Torque has looked good, and Green.
Yeah.
Green was looking good until he hurt his elbow. And that is he's getting Tommy John surgery on his non-throwing arm. So he'll be ready for the season next year.
Yeah, hopefully, that shouldn't hamper him too much. It's 72 wins ain't too bad for this team. We're not quite done yet, so they have a chance to come close to what would you predict them winning out of the rest of the season?
You got 9 games left, 3 against Oakland, 3 against
Try to be
KC.
above 500. You'd be right around 77 wins. That ain't bad. I mean, really, considering the team.
You have 9, so technically you could win out. There's nobody who's bad, who's that good that you're facing. They're not gonna win out.
I just want them to go 5-4. 9 games left. Let's see if we can go 5-4.
You are versing 2 teams with over 100 losses. Right, 3 games against Oakland after you beat Oakland 7-3 last night. There's no reason you couldn't sweep Oakland. You probably
no
are.
Pressure, but 9 games left. Who else are they playing?
Kansas City, who has 102 losses.
Sucks.
So you could sweep KC. And last 2 games of the year against the Guardians, just as good as you. I mean, if you finish 500, I think that would be kind of impressive.
That's all I'm looking for. 5-4 last 9 games. That'd be great. And they could go out.
I expect 3 wins. I expect 75. I said they might get to 75.
So they're
throughout halfway through the year.
They could very easily exceed your expectations.
They could. I'm going to say 75 wins. They could do more. They could win 6 games.
They've already exceeded mine from my beginning of the year.
Oh, they've exceeded everybody's from the beginning of the year.
I really, like I said, they were a better team. And, we kind of hoped along the way. They almost got us to the Lions season. Got us all excited. Now the Lions are all stressing us out, but we're talking Tigers, so.
Yeah, the Tigers when we stopped talking about them that 1 week, they ended up sweeping the White Sox. Well, almost sweeping the White Sox. They won their series against the White Sox, lost their series against the Reds, but won 1 game. Swept the Angels, went to Dodgers and lost 2 out of 3 there, and now they're starting their Oakland series and won their first game of that series yesterday, leading to the last 3 games for the next 3 days. It's going to be an interesting, I guess, couple of weeks with them to see if maybe they can pick it up. But you do have some guys out, like I mentioned, Riley Green getting hurt. He got hurt in that White Sox series, now having surgery, but luckily it's not his throwing arm. Cabrera getting hurt last night, fouling off a pitch. Hopefully it's not that bad. He can finish out the season. He went through the whole season without getting hurt, and then ended up getting hurt right at the end.
Right. Meadows is back up, right?
Meadows is still playing, and he's been playing well.
That's looking like what we're trying to see what next year is going to look like for them. They seen Torque. It looks like he's getting better and better and earning, deserving that number 1 overall pick. Riley Green, hopefully, have an injury-free season. He'll be a hell of a player. So you got 2 guys right there. Some of our pitching will be coming back.
Yep.
We could make a pretty big leap next year if, we stay healthy and hopefully these guys keep developing.
Yeah. And one thing, like another surprise, we could hit our couple surprises. First, I'm going to say Jake Rogers, 20 home runs, 47 RBIs. His batting average is just low, 218. Get that up a little bit. You might hit a couple more home runs, but
he's another guy
that's better than we thought.
Right, and he might be a slow developer too. He might improve that average next year. He never really got the opportunity until, like I said, this last couple years under Hinch, and he's never really gotten the opportunity. And that's not anyone's fault because this is, make or break. You come up and you're playing professional sports. It's a what have you done for me lately? They don't have time to wait a lot of times, but we do. Our team has a little bit more time to give these guys, and as long as you're showing some progress. I don't know. I think Jake Rogers could be a 250 hitter.
He could be. A little bit more coaching, a little bit more work. And then you got Spencer Torkelson, 29 home runs, 86 RBI so far through the year. That's not bad either. Batting .232, that's okay.
Some of the projections they got for him may be a little high, but I think they're achievable. Somebody was saying they expect him to be a 40, 90 guy next year.
He might be.
And right, he might be.
He's going to hit 30 this year. He could get 35 this year.
That's
impossible.
And I thought he started out pretty darn slow. So if he could start out good and keep it going, it's a big ceiling for that guy. And then I'm happy for him.
We'll continue down the line of our young players doing well so far this year. We'll probably do this as an end of year thing too. Currently, Kerry Carpenter, right? He started the year 2 months in, right? He's batting a 292 average, 20 home runs, 63 RBIs, and he's only played a total this year of 110 games.
I like him.
So he played probably 40 less games than he typically would play and still hit 20 home runs. And most of his home runs are actually away. He's hit 14 home runs away out of his 20.
Right.
So that's good production.
It is. I can't complain about that. I'm trying to be optimistic for next year. I think that they got a shot to make at least a big leap to go from, something like 77 wins, which is possible this year, to maybe 85, 88.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And one last thing to end on involving the hitters, right? We'll talk about Cabrera. If he is hurt and likely will not play again this year, he is ending on a 256 average, which is not bad. Yeah. He ended up hitting 3 home runs this year, which is kind of more than I expected him to hit. I didn't really think he would hit one.
Somebody bet me before the beginning of the year that he wouldn't hit one. And I said, I'll take that bet. He'll get lucky. And he got lucky 3 times. So.
And then 31 RBIs. So that's, again, not that bad. He ended his career, I think, with at least a decent average. Showed he could at least still hit the ball. Not with the power he used to hit, but he is at least showing he has that ability still to hit the ball going out.
Yep.
And now that's going to free up about $30 million of cap space for us going into the offseason for us to do whatever we feel is necessary. Probably more or less pitching. I don't think our offense really needs too much going into next year. I think it's more or less pitching is what we're going to have to fix.
Right.
But everything, in my opinion, looks good for the future. I don't know exactly. We'll go more into like who the free agents are going into the offseason, who we could probably pick up. It's all going to come down to who also opts out and whatnot.
The offseason, the big question we all know is going to be what to do with Baez.
Well, we don't have control over Baez.
We don't have, right.
He has his opt out, and so does Rodriguez.
It's a tough thing right there. Fielding wise, I like him. Man, I think everybody has the same opinion about him. It's just, damn. If only, you could get that guy to take better pitch selection. I mean, that's his whole thing. He just swings at some really awful pitches.
Yeah, they knew that before he signed. Right. He was like that in Chicago. He was like that in New York.
It's just unfortunate.
And then one last thing for this week, we officially have a new general manager for the Tigers, Jeff Greenberg. He was previously with the Cubs and most recently with the Blackhawks. So hopefully he can get started on some nice new players coming in. He'll be working directly with Scott Harris, so it's not like he's going to have the full-on driver's seat.
What do you know of this guy?
Well, I know he worked with the Cubs, so I think he worked with the Cubs pretty early on, probably through their good years. And then he just recently joined the Blackhawks. So in 2022, he joined the Blackhawks.
So he's only there for a year.
Yeah, he wasn't with the Blackhawks for long. I believe.
What was his position with the Blackhawks?
Associate general manager.
Okay.
So he was assistant general. I think he has not been a GM. He's mostly been an assistant GM.
Though, right?
He's 37. So
you know what? You need it. You need some young blood. We need to find that next great GM and have him be here for a while. I'm optimistic. I hope it works out. I like Scott Harris, so
he was with the Cubs for 11 years. So he's been working with the Cubs since his mid-20s, which would be those World Series years as well for the Cubs. Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him too. But it is a lot of new faces coming into the Tigers organization, a lot of young guys, both in management and player-wise. So the team is going to get younger. It's going to look nice. And we're going to have a nice, productive team, hopefully, going into the new year. But with that being said, everybody, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share the video. And until next time, hope to see everybody soon.